नवीन सगम स्टॉप टॉकिंग.
నేడు ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ మంత్రివర్గ భేటీ స్పెషల్ ఎన్ఫోర్స్మెంట్ బ్యూరోకు ఆమోదం తెలిపే అవకాశం అసెంబ్లీ సమావేశం
Yeah, hi, hello everyone, and welcome back, and good morning and good evening. So, so I think around 13 people joined today. Okay, good. Um, yeah. So let me share my screen once. Um, 1 second. Yeah. So last class we have discussed about what is React JS and what is the course content. Everything we have discussed, and some people already paid. So I request some other people to pay the remaining amount. That's fine. Okay. So today, what are we going to do? So before we starts with the React JS, the actual application development with React JS, I am planning to do a session on the software development. I mean software installation. Okay, so we need to install a bunch of softwares to start development of React JS with the complete backend and everything. So first of all, what is the software we have to install is the editor. Okay, so you can choose any of the editor. So I'm just giving some list of editors, like you can use WebStorm. WebStorm ID, you can use it, and it's a paid one. No worry, I tell you, I'll give you some suggestion what to do here. You can use WebStorm, or you can use Visual Studio Code, okay, or you can use Atom, or you can use brackets, okay, or you can also use Sublime Text. Okay, so you have actually these many options to start with the editor. To write a source code, like even React JS, Node.js, MongoDB, complete source code you can write with these. I can suggest don't go with Sublime Text because it's very basic one. You can choose either of uh, any one of among these one. Okay, so in today's class, I'm just telling you how to install WebStorm IDE and also the VS Code. Okay, so after we finish off this, you have to install another software called Node.js. So this is a backend platform to write some server-side code, and also which comes with a beautiful package called uh, Node Package Manager, that's called NPM. So which allows us to create even React.js application or Angular, and it's a bunch of commands that comes with Node.js. So this we have to install, and along with this, today we are installing another software called MongoDB. Anyway, today we are not starting with MongoDB, but I just wanted you to be ready with this software called MongoDB. Okay, fine. So these things, I think, anything else? Yeah, Insomnia. Okay, fine. So another software we have to install is Insomnia or Postman. I think you might heard about Postman. So this software is actually to test the backend REST API. You have a choice again. You can use either Postman or Insomnia. So I'm using actually this one. I tell you installation of both. Okay. So first let's start with the editor installation. So WebStorm IDE or VS Code. So in this one small um, thing you have to know is VS Code is actually completely free. You can use it free of cost for the lifetime. But thing is WebStorm. So WebStorm is now not free. it's something like, is a bigger software and it's not free. You have to pay for this. But as a trial version, it is free for 30 days. Okay, so 30 days you can use it for free, and then you have to purchase. Don't worry, you can just install as of now the WebStorm, and you can use it for 30 days. And the meanwhile, I will be giving you the full versions and which works for you lifetime. Okay, I hope that's clear. So how to get the WebStorm is, you can just go to Google. You can type WebStorm ID. Okay, so the website is jetbrains.com, the smartest JavaScript IDE by JetBrains. So when you go here, yeah, so this is WebStorm IDE, the smartest JavaScript IDE. So free for 30 days. You can just download, just click on download. Okay, so it's downloading. It's 266 MB. I think it takes time. Okay, so meanwhile, we also download the another editor that's called VS Code. This is given by the Microsoft itself. That you can try like this. Visual Studio Code. This one. I'm not talking Visual Studio. There is another software called Visual Studio. Okay, so that actually use it by the .NET developers, but we don't need that actually. We just need only Visual Studio Code. So this is actually for React.js and Angular and even backend Node.js development. This one. So the website is code.visualstudio.com. So you can just open that website. Okay, fine. And so here, this is the website looks like, and you can click on this button, download for Windows. And if any other platforms, like if you're looking for Mac, or if you're using for any other Linux or something, you can just click on another platform, and they will give you the idea like to which link you have to click on to get the installer. So I'm just using Windows, so I just click on this download for Windows. So it is downloading. It is just around 54 MB. Fine. So both the softwares has downloaded. So let me just close this. Fine. And you can just go to the downloads folder. You can find both WebStorm 2020 and VS Code. Yeah, fine. So let me show you the installation of both. First, let's start with WebStorm. So you can just double click on this. Just say yes. Okay, this is a setup wizard. You can just click on next. And so it is going to install in your program files location. So that's okay. So please don't change this one. It must be program files, and click on next. And yeah, so here there are some installation options like create desktop shortcut is 64-bit launcher or 32-bit launcher. So if your system is belongs to 64-bit operating system, you have to check the 64-bit. Or if you are using 32-bit operating system, you have to check the 32-bit. So I'm using 64-bit operating system. If you're not sure about this thing, you can just right click on your PC. You can go to properties, and you can check here. See, the system type is 64-bit operating system, right? So you can select 64 bits. So where's that? Yeah, 64 bits. And along with this, you can select all other options. So except this one, because it requires again restart. I don't want to restart my system now. So I just unchecking this one. And download 32-bit JS runtime not required, because we select actually 64 bits. So this option also not required. And don't worry, I'll be sharing this video to you. By seeing the video, you can install. Okay, so once you have done with the selection, click on next, and then click on install. So it takes some time. So this actually made on Java. It's a desktop application. It's built on Java language. So you can see all jar files. It's a Java archive. Okay. Okay, fine. I think it's takes some time. And meanwhile, what we do is we also install this VS Code. Okay. Mm, yeah. So let's start. So let me double click on the VS Code also. Okay, so VS Code is like this, and you can just accept the agreement and click on next. And this is installing in C users HP. That's okay. Click on next and click on next. And you can select this create desktop icon and these things and all actually not required. And required shell restart. Okay, only just shell restart. That's okay. You can find. Click on next and then click on install. So this is also installing and I think this is still going on. Come on. Okay, so this is actually finished. You can just click on finish. And it will launch the VS Code. Um, okay, so this is VS Code editor. Okay, that's fine. Next, this one also, you can just run WebStorm. You can just check this and finally click on finish. This also starts with WebStorm IDE now. Okay, it is actually looking for some options and you can just select do not import any settings. Do not import any settings and click on OK. And yeah, so we got another wizard and where you have to select the dark theme or light theme. So generally I use this in the night time and this I use in the morning time. So you can choose either one and don't worry, after you start with the application also you can change the theme. Okay, so don't worry about this. You can just skip remaining and set default. Okay, so this is 2020 version and this is actually looking for activation because as I said it is a paid version. Don't worry, as of now you can just select an option called evaluate for free. Okay, so this evaluation is for 30 days free. Just go with this. Okay, and later before finishing of 30 days I tell you what you can do to get this extended. Okay, and fine, and then click on evaluate. Okay, again it takes time. Yeah, you get this wizard again once you have done with evaluation. uh, so you have three options: create new project, open, and control. You can just click on create new project and just click on create and don't need to select anything, just select just keep the default things. And location also no worry, just keep it as it is and just click on create. Okay, fine. So now you have successfully installed the VS Code editor and also the WebStorm ID. So sometimes I'm going to use VS Code and sometimes this one, because why I'm switching between this both is because in company we are not sure which editor they are going to use. Okay, so that's the reason we should have a knowledge on at least two editors. That will be good. Okay, so most of the times I'm going to using only WebStorm mostly. Fine. So now where we stop? Okay, editors is finished. So now let's start with Node.js installation. So for Node.js, again you have to go to Google and just type for Node.js. Okay, when you type Node.js, you get the first link, that is nodejs.org. This is the official um, website. You can open that. Okay, okay. Uh, so in USA, there's something. I mean, some protest is going on. So I think for that reason they have made it the site to be down. Um, okay, to download the Node.js, you have this link. Generally, you don't get this. So now in US, that protest is going on. So for Native Americans, so that's they made it, and you can select yeah, this one to download Node.js. Just click on this download. Yes, I got that page now. Okay, so here someone is chatting. Yes, yes, correct. Yeah. So here, Windows installer, you can select the MSI file, so Microsoft installer or zip file or any of this package you can select. I'm just selecting the MSI, so Microsoft installer. So if you select this MSI file, so which directly you can install. But if you download the zip file, you have to extract it and then install. Okay. So I'm just going with the MSI file, and you have an option again, 32-bit and 64-bit. I'm just going with 64-bit because my system is 64-bit operating system. Just click on Windows 64-bit. Okay, so it is just around 18 MB. Uh, so it's got downloaded. Hmm, Okay, just give me a few minutes. I think it's not completely done. Um, Back to downloads folder. It's not confirmed. Okay, done. So you have a Node.js which is having a version 12.18.0 of 64 bits, and you can just simply double click on this and you get this installation wizard. So click on next, and here you have to accept the license, yes, and click on next, and it's going to install in your C program files location. That's okay. Click on next, and then click on next. Nothing else to change here. Click on next. Here an important thing is there's a checkbox, automatically install the necessary tools. So as of now we don't need this, so you can just skip this step as of now. So any tools which is required, we'll install them separately, but we don't need these tools. Just remember, don't check this, and click on next, and then click on install. It asks for confirmation, just say yes. Okay, fine. I think it takes some time. So meanwhile, what we do is, I think it's almost done. Okay. So meanwhile, oh, it's done. Good. Yeah, it's finished, and you can just click on a finish. Done. One more thing is, we have successfully installed the Node.js. So once you have done with the Node.js, you have to check the version of Node.js. So we double check the installation version. So where you can do is, you can open the command line, the Windows command prompt. You can just type cmd to open the Windows command prompt. Yeah, here you can just type the command called node space hyphen v, enter. So when I hit this, you will get the version 12.18.0. You may get some version. So if you install like today, you will get this current version. Okay. So once you get the version, it is successfully installed. Fine. And along with this, you also check another version, that is npm minus v, enter, all lowercase. So you get some other version called 16.14. So what is this npm is? It is um, one node package manager, so which comes with all different libraries. So for any of your JavaScript library, if you want to install, you need to use this module. So for that reason, we have installed the Node.js. Okay, so only two commands you have to check for the version: node space hyphen v and npm space hyphen v, and also make sure both are different version. Okay, fine. So once you get this, Node.js has been successfully installed in your system. And the next thing is MongoDB. So we need to install this MongoDB. So for that, just go back to Google again. In React, why npm is required? Yes, as I said, npm is a package manager. So if you want to create the React.js folder structure, right? So React.js means we don't need to create everything from the scratch, which contains a bunch of files and a lot of configurations. So we don't need to do that complete configuration by ourselves. So using this npm, there is one package. So with that, it automatically creates the folder structure. So to get the automatic folder structure of React.js, the complete application, so we need npm. Okay, so just wait for some time and I'll just show you why we use npm for React. Okay, fine. Now MongoDB, right? So you can just go to Google and just type for MongoDB. Okay, so when you type MongoDB, you get the official website called mongodb.com, the most popular database for modern applications. You can open this website. Okay, so this is the website of MongoDB, and you don't need to sign in actually. Here, there is a link called software. In that, you can check the version called, the link called community server. You can just click on that. Um, okay, actually, they have changed this, path. Uh, okay, fine. I got it. So when I select software and click on community server, and you get this page, and right side you can see the available downloads, and you can see the current version, that is I think, so whichever got the current one, that you can select, and don't select these things which are still in development mode. Just select the current one and choose your platform. I have actually Windows. Okay, MSI package, that's fine, and click on download. Okay, yeah, it's downloading. It's around 264 MB. Again, takes time. Can you share videos once class is done? Yes, daily I'm sharing the videos. Okay, every class, even if you miss, even for everyone. Okay, if any of you miss any class, no problem, and I'll be sharing the videos. Okay, and yeah, it's still downloading. Okay, it's done. Okay, let me refresh. Yeah, So you get this MongoDB, and if you want to install this, just click on, just double click on this. Okay, you get this installation wizard, and the current version is 4.2.7, and just click on next, and you need to accept the license, and then click on next. Here you have two options. You can select the complete version or custom version. Just click on a complete. Okay, and here you need to select the service configuration. Yeah, I'll tell you, Chaitanya, I'll tell you what to do. Okay. Uh, so for a service configuration, you don't need to check anything here. It's everything perfectly fine. Okay. So don't change anything. Nothing to check or uncheck. Nothing to change here. Just click on next. And yeah, here install MongoDB Compass. So what exactly MongoDB Compass is? This is one GUI environment where you can visualize the data which is there inside a MongoDB and without entering the commands. Okay, but there is some problem while install this Compass along with MongoDB. So this I recommend you to install this separately. So what I suggest is please uncheck. Okay, you don't need to install the MongoDB Compass along with this. It's having some problems I face, so I'm just telling, don't check this. Please uncheck, and we'll go and install this in a separately. Okay, and click on next, and yes, click on install. Okay, it asks for confirmation. Just click on yes. Okay, so it is finished, and click on finish. Done. Okay. So finally, once you have done with MongoDB, you need to do some small setup. Like we have done the version checking for Node.js, right? So for MongoDB also you need to check that for double confirmation of MongoDB installation. So once you have done with MongoDB installation, you need to check the version. So how you do is, again, you have to open a fresh command prompt. Here, you can just type Mongo, okay, and then just say enter. Okay, so you will get this Mongo shell version, and it is ready to connect, and it's already connected. So connecting to MongoDB, you will get this. And here you can just type a command called show DBs. Okay, so these many databases. So I already have these many, and you'll be having only just admin and config and local, not others. So these are my databases. Fine. Actually, what I want to tell you here is, okay, so what I want to tell you here is, first time when you enter this Mongo, you don't get this. You will get the message called Mongo is not recognized as internal external command. I just wanted to get that. Okay, so you will get that. So I have already made a configuration of this one, so that's why I'm getting. I think I just have to remove it. Yeah, this one delete. Okay, okay, okay. So now you see. So generally, what I expected, yes, this one. Generally, once you install a MongoDB first time, and when you open a command prompt, and there you enter Mongo and press enter, you will get first time this one. Okay, so even though you install MongoDB in your system, but still you will get this message: Mongo is not recognized as internal external command. So what this saying is, you need to set a path for the Mongo installation. So you need to do an extra step. So let's see what is the step. Is just go to the MongoDB installation folder. So I know where it is installed. So just go to C drive, program files, and there you can select MongoDB server 4.2 bin. Okay, that you can just remember this path. Okay, so C program files MongoDB server 4.2 bin. Okay, so this path you need to set a path. So let me sorry, you can just keep a cursor here and you can just copy the address, and this you need to set the class path. So what you do is once you copy this particular address, you can just press the Windows key and search for env. Okay, so it stands for environment variables. You can just select env and not this one. This is my local video, and you can just select this one, edit the system environment variables. Okay, you can just click on this. So you get this wizard, and here there is one environment variables. There's a button, just click on that. Okay, you get this another wizard. Here you have a link called path. Okay, so here you have to paste the address. So select the path in the user variable. This is user variable, this is system variable. You can just select for user variables path and click on edit, and here you just click on new, and here you have to paste. Okay, so make sure you have a up to the bin, and you don't need to add a slash also, just keep last is bin. Okay, and click on OK, and then OK, and then OK. So don't worry, I'll be sharing the video. Okay, fine. So once you have done with this step, now you can open a command line, and now just say type mongo and press enter. Yes, see, now you got this thing. So if you can able to see these logs, yes, you have successfully installed MongoDB, and you are also configured. See, it is trying to connect to the MongoDB server, and it is done successful. Okay, fine. And one more thing I want to tell you in MongoDB installation is, let me exit this. Sometimes what happens is you will get the error that MongoDB has not started. Okay, so how to stop and start the MongoDB is, you need to go to the Windows services to start and stop the MongoDB. Okay, so what is that is, you can just press Windows R command for the run command. You can just type services.msc for Windows services. So here you have actually the MongoDB start and stop. It is just like a Windows service which you can start and stop. I'll just show you. See here, because if in future if you want to debug this, it'll be very helpful. So you can just select M for MongoDB. Yeah, here. See, MongoDB server is in a running status. So MongoDB server is running. So whenever your system starts, when your laptop starts or desktop starts, it automatically starts. Okay, it's a Windows service. But some people it will be in a stop mode. You can't see anything here or here. Let me stop it. Okay, it's already running. So right click, stop. So now MongoDB has been stopped. If MongoDB server has been stopped, so when I go to the command line and there you type Mongo and press enter, see, it is trying to connect to this, but it's got failed. Okay, so no connection could be made because the target machine is actively refusing it because it is down. Okay, connection failed. So why connection failed is it is stopped. So if you get anytime these type of errors, so you just make sure you go to the Windows services. There just select the MongoDB and make sure it is in a running status. If it's not running status, you have to right click and click on a start. Okay, it is starting the MongoDB server. Now it is in running stage. If it is running stage, now you can type Mongo again. Yes. So now it is perfectly connected and you don't get any errors, and you get this. You can just type show DBs and you can see the list of databases. Okay, fine. So this means it is successfully configured and it is running out. Okay, fine. So MongoDB successfully installed, and finally thing is Insomnia or Postman. So these two required. I just tell you how to install this one because we're going to use this one. Both can be same purpose for to test the REST API of backend. So I'm just telling you how to install this Insomnia. For installing Insomnia software, you can just go to Google again, Insomnia desktop app. Okay. So when I select this, I get the website called insomnia.rest. You can just click on the website. Yup, here. So here we have actually two versions. One is Insomnia Designer and Insomnia Core. I don't need this. I just need only the core. And you can just click on Insomnia Core. Okay, so you will get this page again. And right side you can see this and just click on Insomnia for Windows. If you have other downloads, you can just click on all downloads. Okay, I just need for Windows. I just click on this button for Windows. So this around some 85 MB. I think it takes time. Okay, I think it is a bit slow. Okay, it is coming very slow. Let me check the speed. Okay. Speed is fine, but okay, just wait for 1 minute. So let's make installation of this finish, and then we'll start with the React.js application. So how to create a React application, and then I tell you. So once this is finished, some people asking some questions. Oh, Windows 7 we can't install MongoDB. Okay, I'll give you this. I'll keep in one my GitHub location, or I'll share the drive link. You can just download it. No problem. Yes, I'll share. Repeat the command again for MongoDB. Hey, no worry, man. I'll giving you the link, right? I'll giving you the video itself. You can just pause the video and you can install it. Okay, no problem. You can just watch it. Okay, and yeah. So it is successfully downloaded. You can just open in the folder. Yes, this one, and you can just double click on this. So this does the automatic installation. You don't need to check any options or something. So it internally does by itself. Okay, it's done. Okay, fine. You can find this. Okay. Just keep as it is. If you have this, if you can open this, that's fine. And once the time comes, and we'll discuss what is the layout and everything. Okay. I'm just closing it as of now. So because we don't need this now. Fine. So now we have successfully installed all the required softwares for this, the entire React.js development with complete backend. Fine. So now after you successfully install the software, so it's time to start the React.js. Okay, so React.js folder structure. So for React.js, so it's not like a regular website. Generally, if you want to develop a simple website, right? So we need we need a HTML file, we need a CSS file, and we need a JavaScript file. Okay, so we gonna create our own folder and we're gonna create our own HTML files in the editor, and we can just start development of a website, right? But when it comes to the frameworks, kind of like React JS or Angular or Vue.js, for these things you have to do a lot of configuration, because when you see a project when compared to the local our project, and when you compare the real time projects, there'll be a lot of configuration differences over there, because you'll be having a separate configuration for development, separate configuration for UAT production, like that. So, and you'll be having a lot of build scripts and all this. So when it comes to the React JS and Angular, we we should not create everything from the scratch. So they will be giving some commands. Okay, so using those commands we can create a folder structure. Okay, so what is the command to create a React JS first application? At least the basic setup for React JS application is, you can just hit the command called npm init react app space your application name. Okay, okay. So, sir, where you get this, and what is the installation? Where can we find these type of commands? Okay, I just tell you the website where you can find these commands. You can just type uh, React. Mm, this one. So create React app dev. Okay, you can type this create React app dev. So this is the actual website. So create React app dev docs getting started. So they'll be giving list of commands. So one is using npx create React app and my app. You can do this one. Okay, you have multiple options. You can use as a npx, or as I said, this one npm init React app my app. Okay, or you can use yarn. So yarn is actually same, like just like another package called npm. Okay, fine. So this is actually a good tutorial where you can find a list of commands. So I'll be giving the link in here. Okay, so there's a link. So command is npm init react app and your application name. Okay, so my application name is gonna be the my app or first app. So example. So what I'm gonna create is npm init react app, and my application name is first minus app. Okay, and here while giving the application names, never give underscore or numbers. Okay, just give hyphen. If you have two words in your application name, just give hyphen. Okay, something like that. Okay, so don't give underscore, they'll give the error. So first tab is my application name. So where we have to hit this command, where you have to hit the command is in your workspace. So I tell you, first just me go to D drive workspace. So I'll do one thing. I'll just create a separate workspace, new folder. Let's say React underscore online. Okay. So assume this is my workspace. Okay, so here I'm going to create all the React.js application. So React Online Workspace. So here I want to create the first application called My App. So what you do is you need to go to this folder in the command line and you have to enter this command. So how to go to command line for this is you need to copy the address of any of your workspace which you have created this empty folder, and you need to copy this address, Control C copy, and you need to open a command line. Okay, so here, see, when I open a command line, by default it is C drive, but where I create my workspace is D drive. So I want to switch to D drive. So what you do is just say D colon enter, switch to D drive. But still I want to go to this folder structure. So I have already copied the address. So what you do is CD, so change directory, and then paste. So you can just click on the mouse, right click. Okay, it will be pasted. So control V will not work. So you can just use the mouse right click to paste in the command line and then press enter. So what happened? So now it is exactly the same location where you're looking for your workspace. Yes, D column workspace, React Online workspace. Yes. So here is the place I want to create the React application. So what is the command you have to type is this one. So npm init React app first app. So let me type that npm init React app minus sorry space React app is the command. Okay, first that's my first application name. Just press enter. So for this reason we have installed the node.js. Okay, npm is required. So if you don't have npm you can hit this command. Okay, fine. So it is creating a React application. So you'll be getting a lot of logs over here, and it takes I think around 2 to 3 minutes depend on your internet speed. And also I tell you when you hit this command, you know, it creates the React application, and that complete application size is around some 200 MB. Okay, so for each React application size is around 200 MB, so which contains a lot of third-party modules and a lot of JavaScript libraries and all this. Okay, so that comes here. Fine. So now it takes time. Just keep it aside. Okay. So now let's understand what is this React. Actually, what exactly the React JS is gonna do. What is the structure is gonna follow. The very important thing what React JS does is it is a component based application development. Okay, component based application. So what exactly this component based application? Okay, first let me open up Paint so that you can clearly understand. Yeah, so what is component based? So generally, tell me, if you want to create an application, right? Application means you want to create a website. So generally what will be there? If you want to create a website, website looks like this, and the website will have actually a nav bar, correct? So most of the website will have a nav bar, and you'll be having a sidebar, right? And what else? You'll be having another right side, one more sidebar. Okay, and you'll be having a footer. Okay, and then inside you'll be having some set of cards. Right, so assume this is your website. Okay, so this is actually your website. So for this website, what you have done, you have made a navbar, sidebar, footer, and this one. Okay, just forget about React.js as of now. First tell me, to create a navbar, what do you do? I mean, to create at least this website, what do you have to do? You need to write one HTML file and one CSS file and one JavaScript file, correct? So one HTML file is for the structure, and the .css is for the styles, and .javascript for any DOM manipulation things and all. You need to write a JavaScript file. So you may create multiple HTML and CSS files, or else you can keep everything in a complete website in a one HTML, complete styles in one CSS, complete DOM manipulation in one JavaScript. So you're gonna create in this way. But what is React.js approach? Actually, why React.js has come to the market is whenever the application, so whenever your application becomes complex, okay, because nowadays every front-end application, it's becoming very, very complex. Okay, because they want everything in a client side. So why this React.js and Angular and came to the picture is they wanted to simplify the application development. Okay, so how they simplify the application development is using the concept called component based application. So what is component based is they are going to divide your entire application into various components. What is mean by component is just take component means it's just a part of website, or you can take a web page, a part of web page. It means I can take a small portion of UI. Okay, I can call it as component means it's a small portion of UI. So what is the small portion? It means you can take a nav bar is a component. You can take a left sidebar is a component. Right sidebar is a component, and the footer is a component. This main area is a component, and this card is a component like that. So, okay, so they have divide the entire application into the various portions of UI. That portion is called as a component. Okay, so they will develop, I mean, we have to develop the each simple components together, and then later we have to integrate them into the main application so that you will get a complete application. So it means you have to completely concentrate on a particular component, and later you have to integrate that with the actual application. Okay, so let's take this card. Okay, so this is the card. So this card is actually called as a component in React.js. So for this components, what are the files required? Generally, to develop a website, what is required? One HTML, one CSS, and one JavaScript. Same way, if you want to develop at least one card, also HTML, CSS, and JavaScript is required. Correct? Now, so what is the React.js approach in developing of one component is, yes, we need one HTML, one CSS, and one JavaScript. Okay, so it's going to be one dot JS file. Okay, and in React.js, we never write any dot HTML file. Okay, and we actually write the complete HTML inside the JS file itself. Okay, so for every component in React.js, you'll be having only two files. One is .css. You want to apply any styles for that components, and any dynamic DOM manipulation functionality, and also the design, HTML design. Everything is gonna write in one JS file. So you can see only one JS file and one CSS file. Okay, and this HTML will be inside of the JS, and that official name of the file is actually called JSX. Okay, so JavaScript and XML. And don't worry, as of now, just forget about this extension. You can just consider as JavaScript contains HTML source code. Okay, and CSS is separate. So this is one component. And once you have made a component, they will be giving a custom tags. Suppose in HTML, we have a tags, right? Like a head tag, body tag, like that. For every component, suppose you made a card component that is having a custom tag. So React.js contains a full of custom tags like a card tag. Okay, so again, if you create a navbar, so it's a like this navbar tag. Okay, so this both the files together we can be written as card. If you write card, it represents both of these files like that. So every, this is one tag, navbar tag. Okay, so this is one card tag. So once you develop a card tag, you can use that card tag a number of times. Okay, you can just reuse that card. If you want to design a card again, you can just use only this card. Okay, I think this little confusing, no problem, and well, actually start development, you understand. Okay, this is called actually a component based development. So what is component is? It is a small portion of UI in your website. Okay, and I think let me back to here or command prompt. Yeah, so it is successfully installed. Yes, it's created the package. Let me go back to the original. Where is that? Yeah, so when you hit the command npm init react app first tab, you will get this, and here you'll get some warning, just ignore them. And finally you'll get these npm start, and these are the commands, and happy hacking. Okay, so if you can see this, yes, it is actually created. And let me go back to that folder. See here, first tab folder has created, and this is what your React.js application. When I open this, see here, you can find the public folder, SRC folder, and a lot of folders, and node modules will contain a lot of other third-party modules and all this. So this is actually a React.js application. So now next step, the first step you have to create the application, and the next step is you have to load that application to the web store, because when you want to change this, I can't change the files over here, right? I need to load this project to the my uh, this thing, okay, any editor. So I tell you how to load this to the web store. You need to just copy the address of the first tab. So you need to copy this address back to web store. Yeah, here how to load is just click on a file, open. Okay, just click on file, open, and here you need to paste the address up to the first tab. So it detects the first tab and just select and click on OK, and then this window. So it is loading now. Do we learn how to host our application? Yes, yes, we'll do. Wait now, wait. We just started. Okay. Fine. Okay. So now what happened? We created the React.js application and we also loaded that React.js application to the WebStorm. And this is what a folder structure which is created by that command. Okay, fine. So before I explain the each and every file of this React.js, I just want to start a server. See here, what he's saying is, we suggest that you need to go to the first tab folder and then start the server. So you can either do from this command line, or else every WebStorm will be having the internal command prompt that is called terminal. Okay, you can just see here terminal, just click on the terminal. If I click on terminal, so this is the terminal will open. So in the first tab, you can just say npm start. Okay, npm start. You can just hit the command npm start. So this starts. Npm not recognize the. How come? We have installed, right? 1 minute. Node space -v. Oh, some problem with my internal command prompt. That's fine. No problem. We just go with the local command prompt. Actually, that's supposed to work. I don't know. It's not recognized. I think I had to restart the WebStorm, it seems. That's okay. So where is our 1 minute? So where is the first tab installed is here. So you need to just go to that address, first tab. So D drive, cd space, enter, clear. CLS is clear screen, okay? Enter. So I'm in this folder. So you wanna start the server, just say npm start. Okay, so there's a command to start the development server of Node.js, sorry, React.js. Okay, so it is starting on localhost 3000. This is the default port number of React.js. Okay, fine. So now React.js server has started and it opens automatically the browser, and there you can find this thing. So this, whenever you see this, yes, you have successfully created the React.js application and it is already started. Okay, so this is the first application of React and it is already started now. Fine. So when you want to see the application structure, the file structure, back to here. So where does this is coming and how does this is working, and where, which are all the files which are already connected internally for this is here. Okay, first application. So let me tell you the folder structure here. The very first folder is node modules folder. So this is actually the third party libraries, the third party JavaScript files, the Node.js modules files will be stored over here. And there's a public folder. So this public folder contains the public files, okay, so which contains first one is index.html. It means whenever you open a website, okay, so it automatically looking for your project's public folder index.html. Okay, so whenever I hit this, this URL, it is coming from this index.html file. Okay, so I'm just telling the flow once. Okay, go to index.html. So here body and no script tag, and there's a div. See, division with id root, that's it, nothing else here. Okay, just commands, we get only just division with root, and we don't see any this image and this text is not there in the index.html. Just very clear, only one division. Just keep it aside. I just tell you what is happening over here. That is index file and some logos. And next is an src folder. So this is contains actually the components. So the React.js components files and all here, app.js and all. And along with this, we have package.json. So this package.json is actually which contains all the scripts and also the dependent modules. Okay, so these are the modules which are required to start off with the React.js. So this is the complete what you call a configuration file of your application. Okay, and now I think it got stuck. Okay, so package.log.json, this contains your the packages dependents. Okay, as of now this is not required. Okay, so what happening, how can you get this page? So what is exactly flow? Thing is, whenever I enter this URL, it is looking for a index.html. Here index.html, we have a div tag with id root, and but internally nothing is there. So what is there inside which is coming from some other file? What is that is, when I go to the src folder, here there is a file called index.js. Okay, this is the main starting file. If you go to index.js, okay, so here don't worry what is there here, you can just see document dot get element by id root. Okay, and add with this thing. See, what is this document dot get element by id root? Index.html we have id root, right? The same document dot id root, this one is substituted with app tag. It means in between this div tag, I tell you. Okay, let me copy this. Let me change the language to HTML. Yeah, you have to understand the folder structure is very important. Yeah, you have this empty division, okay? But inside, inside of this, what happens is index.js, in the place of document.get element by id root, it is substituting the app. Means this is what it is. Okay, so it means this whole thing is coming from this app tag. Sir, what is this app tag? App tag is, as I said, it is a custom tag. It means it represents a component. What is that component name is app components. Okay, so this is actually the main component, or we also called as root components. Okay, so for every application we'll be having a main component or root component, that is app component. Okay, we have a app tag, like if you have a nav bar, we'll be having a nav bar tag, and if we have a card, we'll be having a card tag, like custom tags. Okay, fine. And also, as I said, to develop a custom tag, what files required? So if it is app tag, it means we'll be having app.js, app.css. Okay, and this JS itself contains internally the HTML. It means the whole page is coming from the app tag, and this app tag source code is in app.js and styles is app.css. So let's go quickly find out where is these files. Okay, see here, app. So where is this app is coming from? See, import app from app. So where is this app is? You can just press control and click on this. See app.js in a src, that is here, app.js. Let me open this app.js. Okay, so here you can find a function written, and don't worry about the structure, I'll tell you. Here, yeah, see, header and image src logo class name. Yes, you have image, right? That is this image. Okay, and you can see edit src app.js save reload. That is, see, there's a paragraph tag edit src app.js save or reload. That is this one. And there's an anchor tag href.reactjs.org. See, when I click on this, it goes to official website called reactjs.org. Okay, here also the same because all US websites. Yeah, so reactjs.org is gone. Okay, so that is over here. This link, learn React. Okay, so now I tell you again. So from where this thing is coming is, first it's going to the, whenever you open the basic HTML page, I mean whenever you open a website, it goes to the index.html. So here we have a div with id root, and this data is thing is replaced by here app tag. Okay, so what is the app tag is here? It means in between this app. So what is this app thing? App thing is this division. So copy that division. If I can replace, yes, this must be the source code, but this whole thing they have taken as a app tag. Okay, like this. Okay, don't worry, we also create our own custom components. Fine. Now I want to change this, sir. I don't want to see this. I want to change this to my own. Simple. You can just delete this entire header tag. Okay, I deleted and then save it. What happened? um, See, it is reloaded now. So whenever you change something inside this React.js, it automatically refresh your browser. Fine, and nothing is there because there is nothing inside. So I write h1 tag. Let's say welcome to React.js. Okay, save it. Now go check. You get welcome to React.js. And where does this style chaser, why it is center automatically is, see, it is connect with one app.css. When you go there, see, everything text center, app logo, and all this. So we don't need this. See, it is rotating. So we don't need everything. We just delete. So if you don't have styles, automatically comes to here. Okay. So this is actually a folder structure of React.js. Okay, fine. And so we have to create our own custom components. So I'll just talk about the custom components in the next class. Okay, so for next two classes will be just 1 hour because so many people are going to join. So fine. So enough for this. So what we have discussed today, just recap. So we have done with software installation. So I'll be sharing this video to you. Either I keep in YouTube or I'll be sharing with Drive. Anyway, the first two, three classes I'll be keeping in YouTube channel just for promotion. So I'll give this also in YouTube. You can just install the softwares and also start with the React.js application. And don't worry about so what is happening and is that clear or not. Don't worry, and we will be spending almost 90 hours on React.js, and going forward you clearly understand what's happening inside. Okay, so as of now, just create a first React.js application and try to change this. If you have done this, yes, well and good, no problem, and you are good to go with learning React.js. Okay, and one more thing, if you are not familiar with the JavaScript and CSS and HTML things, you can just go to my YouTube channel where uh, I have given some good examples, so you can just type my name. Yeah, so when you type my name, so yesterday our demo class I kept over here. Okay, so you can just type my name and you can go to the channel, so where actually you can find the playlist. You can click on the playlist directly. So HTML is there, CSS is there, Bootstrap is there, Ajax is there, and JavaScript is there. Okay, you can just go through this meanwhile, and please brush up with JavaScript things and CSS and Bootstrap, so that we'll be starting the actual creating of components, styles and everything. Actual React.js concept starts from tomorrow. Okay, fine. Any questions? Uh, Not audible. Oh, how come? Audible, no? See, it is showing. Yeah, audible. I think maybe you just have to check your mic. It seems audible. Okay, fine. Okay, man. That's it. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll be sharing this video. And please do software installation and then first React.js setup. Okay. And if you want to learn this, so just please go ahead. And tomorrow we'll start with how to create a components and applying styles and how to integrate Bootstrap with React.js and everything. We are gonna start. Okay. And everyday session send to email, right? Every day. Huh? Okay, I'll send. I'll send. Fine. So thank you so much for joining, and we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you.